Live from Billings, Montana, Post 22 Baseball is on the air. We've got a lot of changes, so if any of you are alarmed at the fact that we're starting right now, we apologize. I'm about to explain why in just a few moments. With all that being said, we say good evening and we welcome you inside our luxurious press box, I guess you could call it, here from Joe Pertz Field in Billings, Montana. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, the official radio home of your Post 22 Hard Hats. And as always, we are streaming live on the internet as well on Hardhats-TV. So, to answer all the questions you might have hearing us right now as opposed to earlier in the evening, Mother Nature decided she wanted to be a part of this road trip this weekend, and so that has not only changed up the schedule for the Expos not even making this trip, the Bullets making this trip all of a sudden have their games canceled today. The Hard Hats had a doubleheader originally scheduled against the Scarlets and the Royals starting at 5:30. That has since changed because this field was waterlogged and the Scarlets had to get the water out of the field so that it was up to some kind of a playing shape. That then turned into the doubleheader getting pushed back a half hour. But because it was so bad, the doubleheader was completely nixed. The matchup against the Scarlets was completely nixed. And so the Hard Hats right now will play a single 9-inning game against the Billings Royals. As of right now, tomorrow's doubleheader is to go on as scheduled at 10 in the morning against the Scarlets and the Mavericks. So if there is any silver lining to this weekend and all the travel and all the weather and whatnot, the Hard Hats are still going to play all three teams as originally scheduled. It's just on a different tune. So like I mentioned, there is no 7-inning doubleheader anymore. It is a single 9-inning game, and it starts off against this Billings Royals club. This is going to be a great test for the Hard Hats this weekend, playing against three very gifted baseball teams. The Missoula Mavericks disposed earlier of the Billings Scarlets. If I recall correctly, I believe the final score was 14-10 or 14-9, something along those lines. So in 7 innings, Missoula was able to put up just about 2 runs an inning in getting the win against the Scarlets. Well, we have the managers meeting with our umpires and each other at home plate. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups for this evening's single 9-inning game. We're going to start off with the Hard Hats, who will bat in the top halves of our 9 innings of regulation. And leading off, as always, is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He is out at the shortstop position. Batting second is number 13, Connor King. He'll patrol center field. Batting third is number 18, Alex Weaver, patrolling left field. And in the cleanup position is number 23, Jack Sorensen. He will serve as the designated hitter tonight for the Hard Hats. Batting fifth is number 30, Jace Caldwell. He's out at first base. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption. He'll patrol right field. Batting seventh is number 21, Matt Hegre. He's out in the hot corner at third base. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt. He's the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hard Hats is number 10, Carter Deming. He is at second base. Starting on the mound tonight for the Hard Hats is Dylan Ritchie. He'll make his 3rd appearance of the season and his 2nd by virtue of a start. Ritchie has a 2.00 ERA. He has struck out 9, walked 5, and has hit 1 batter with the pitch as well. 2 earned runs allowed on 3 total. He's also given up 6 hits in 7 innings of work, so that's a very good stat line for such a young gentleman at the early points of this season. Speaking with the pitching coach of the Hard Hats, Ryan Clapperidge, he did say that the pitch count for pitchers moving forward is going to be extended a little bit, which is why starting pitchers have yet to record a win for the Hard Hats in their 5 wins already in 5 games played. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the Billings Royals lineup. Post 4 will bat in the bottom halves of our 9 innings of regulation, as they are the home side. Leading off is number 24, Carson Klumpine. He is out at second base. Batting second is number 10, Atticus Bryant. He's patrolling right field. Batting third is number 4, Jaden Kay. He's at the shortstop position. And in the cleanup spot is number 11, Jarrett Linewand. He is the backstopper and catcher. Batting fifth is number 20, Dawson Smith. He's out at first base. Batting sixth is number 12, Nick Nordstog. He'll serve as the designated hitter tonight for the Royals. Batting 7th is number 2, Cade Torgerson. He's patrolling left field. Batting 8th is number 23, Dan Blanchard. He's out in the hot corner at third base. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot is number 1, Michael Moorhead. He will patrol center field. And the starting pitcher that will immediately see the Hard Hats is the tall right-handed pitcher, number 19, Brooks Zimmer. So we just had the call of our lineup. Zimmer has now officially taken the mound, and he will begin throwing his warm-up pitches. So again, we apologize for any confusion anybody's feeling right now with the fact that we are starting our broadcast and our action at this current moment. Again, it was supposed to be a doubleheader of 2 7-inning games against the Scarlets first and then the Royals second. And because of Mother Nature inserting herself into this road trip, it turned into a single 9-inning matchup between the Royals and the Hardhats. But I mentioned earlier in kicking off our broadcast that the silver lining to how the schedule has worked out is that the Hardhats are still going to play against all 3 teams. So they're still going to see the Mavericks and the Scarlets tomorrow morning as originally scheduled, with that doubleheader consisting of 2 7-inning games starting at 10 in the morning. And they will see the Royals tonight. Originally on the docket, the Hardhats were supposed to play the Scarlets in 2 matchups. They were going to start off both doubleheaders against the Scarlets, and the Scarlets were defeated earlier today by Missoula. And if memory is serving me correctly, 14-9 was the final score in favor of the Mavericks. And it looks like we are ready to go. Cooper Bowman, the leadoff hitter, will take to the batter's box for the Hardhats to kick this contest off. He'll go up against Brooks Zimmer, the starting pitcher. Surrounding him on defense for the Royals, he's paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Jarrett Linewand. At first is Dawson Smith. Second, Carson Klumpy. At shortstop is Jaden Kay. And in the hot corner at third is Dan Blanchard. Left to right in the outfield, Cade Turgeson, Michael Moorhead, and Atticus Bryan. First pitch to Bowman is a called strike, and this game is officially underway at 7:43. No balls and a strike to count to the Hardhat shortstop, and quickly he rips one right to short, and that line drive is caught by Jaden Kay. So Bowman on 2 pitches is sent back to the dugout. That's going to bring up Connor King, the center fielder. So Bowman entered this game with a .450 batting average, second on the team to the DH Jack Sorensen. Connor King steps into the left-handed batter's box, and his first pitch is swung on, and it's popped high in the air to the left side of the infield. Once again, Kay's underneath it, and he makes the catch. So an L6 and a pop 6 in the book. Kay already earning his keep in 1 inning. And that's going to bring us to 2 outs here in a scoreless top of the first. And to Alex Weaver, the left fielder. First pitch from Zimmer. Misses outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Weaver. He comes into this matchup with a .158 batting average. He's batted in all 5 games, still very early, so don't be alarmed at .158 just yet. Next pitch misses low and away, and the count is now 2-0 for the Hardhats left fielder. If he keeps the inning going, then we'll go to Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter. If not, the Royals will lead off the bottom of the first. Next pitch to Weaver is swung on, and that's ripped into left center field, and it'll drop for a base hit. So Alex Weaver gets a 2-out single to keep the inning going, and that'll bring us, as I mentioned, to the designated hitter, Jack Sorensen. Sorensen leading the Hardhats with a .471 batting average. He's only struck out once and walked twice. 5 ribbies under his belt. 8 hits and 17 at-bats. Zimmer will go from the stretch, give a quick peek to first. And his first pitch is a breaking ball that misses low and away. 1-0 to Sorensen. Caldwell patiently waiting in the on-deck circle if we get that far. 2 outs and a man on first here in a scoreless top of the first. Hardhats taking on the Royals in what is now a single 9-inning game. 1-0. Swung on, and that ball is hit to second. Stop is made on the play by Klumpy, and his throw to first is in time, and that's going to do it. Well, the Hardhats are retired. They get no runs on a hit with no errors and a man left on the base path. And at the end of a half an inning, still scoreless, and the Billings Royals will come to bat, starting off with the second baseman, Carson Klumpy. We'll take a quick breather, and we'll be right back with the bottom half of the first here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Well, already half an inning played here, And there is no score between the Hardhats and the Billings Royals. So now the Royals will come to the batter's box, and they will take on Dylan Ritchie, who comes into his third appearance of the season and his second by virtue of a start. An even 2.0 ERA with 9 strikeouts to 5 walks and 1 hit batter. He has allowed 2 earned runs on 3 runs total. 6 hits, 7 innings pitched. So great line so far from Ritchie in the early start of the season. He'll take on the top 3 in the Royals order, and that starts off with Carson Clumping, the second baseman, Atticus Bryan, the right fielder, and Jaden Kay, the shortstop. Defensive alignment for the Hardhats as Ritchie paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Ryan Schmidt. At first is Jace Caldwell. At second, Carter Deming. At shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Matt Hegre. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. Meeting on the mound with Dylan Ritchie is all finished. And our umpire gives the signal to throw out the first pitch. Carson Clumping, right-handed hitting second baseman, steps into the batter's box. First pitch is upstairs on a fastball, ball 1. No score here, and now the bottom of the first. Clumping, the leadoff hitter, taking his first plate appearance. Ritchie from the stretch, a 1-0. Swung on, and the ball is hit foul and out of play at first base side. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike for Clumping. Ritchie looks into Schmidt and agrees on the next pitch. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, and it's foul to the backstop. And Ritchie is in the driver's seat, a ball and 2 strikes. Umpire trying to field a loose ball. And it looks like we're ready to go again. Ritchie gets a sign. He'll pitch again from the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch upstairs. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Carson Clumping, the second baseman. No one on the base path. No one out. Clumping, the leadoff batter. 2-2 his count. And Ritchie deals. Swung on, and the ball is hit high in the air to right field. Zach Sumption tracking over to the foul line, and he's able to make the catch while shading to his left. F9 in the book. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense, and that'll bring us to Atticus Bryan, the right fielder. Bryan is a left-handed hitting right fielder. So the first lefty that Ritchie has to see in this batting order. No one on, 1 out here in a bottom half of a scoreless first inning. And the first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. So 1 up and 1 down now for the Hardhats on defense. 1-0 to Bryan. Hits him. And that'll be the second batter that Ritchie has hit this season, and Bryan will take a free pass to first. So now there's a man on and 1 out, and that will bring us to Jaden Kay, the shortstop. He is a right-handed batter. Bryan took that one right in his back. Ball came inside to him, so he turned. Right into it he went. First pitch to Kay is a called strike on the inside part of the plate, just below the letters. 0-1 the count here to Kay. He has a man on first and 1 out in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. Hardhats are on defense. 0-1 from Ritchie. Called strike, a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and quickly Kay is in an 0-2 hole. Jarrett Linewan, the catcher and cleanup hitter, on deck if the double play doesn't end the inning. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Very open batting stance here for Kay. Right-handed hitting. Shortstop, next pitch is upstairs. Ball and 2 strikes. The man on first is Atticus Bryan, hit by a pitch to gain entry on the base path. He takes his lead off at first. Not a very big lead. And the 1-2. High and inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. If the double play ends the inning, we will have been scoreless through one. One on and one out here in the bottom of the first. 2-2, swung on, ball's hit to second, takes a hop. Deming gets the stop to second to one, to first for two, he got it. And that is going to end the bottom half of the first. A 4-6-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on the base path. We have played one full inning of baseball here in Billings, and we are still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. We'll take a step aside, and we'll come back with the top of the second, and Jace Caldwell to lead us off here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We have played one inning of baseball this evening from Billings, Montana, and we're still scoreless between the Billings Royals and your Post 22 Hardhats. Numbers across the board for a Post 22, no runs, a hit, no errors on defense. And for the Royals, it's straight zeros, no runs, hits, or errors. Brooks Zimmer back on the mound. Very productive first inning, only throwing 8 pitches. He will face Jace Caldwell, the first baseman, followed by Zach Sumption, the right fielder, and Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. We're also streamed on Hardhats-TV. Fine gentleman sitting to my left, Seth Harwood, making sure we are all systems green on that front. Looks like it's smooth sailing so far. Jace Caldwell's first pitch is low for ball one, so the Hardhats first baseman starts off with a 1-0 count. Caldwell batting .313 heading into this ballgame. His 1-0 is swung on, and it's hit high in the air, first base side, foul territory, and it's caught on the run by Dawson Smith. So an unfortunate registered out there for Caldwell. One up, one down for the Hardhats on offense, and that is going to bring us to Zach Sumption, the right fielder. Sumption knocked down 2 pegs in the batting order. The last couple of games he's been in the cleanup spot, so he is in the 6th hole tonight. First pitch from Zimmer. Swung on, and the ball's chopped foul. Third base side, 0-1. Got a little too ahead of that. Sumption comes into the game batting .188. Again, nothing to be too alarmed about, only 5 games in. 3 hits on 16 at-bats. 0-1. Breaking pitch misses low and away, and it's 1-1. Good eye from Sumption there. It looked like he wanted to make an offer to the ball. 1-1 pitch. Called strike, a fastball on the outside corner, and it's quickly 1-2 to the Hardhats right fielder. And the 1-2 to Sumption. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that is the first strikeout of the ballgame for either pitcher. This is a backwards K in the book. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats as Sumption is retired. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Matt Hegre. Hegre's batting .214 on the year. This is the 5th game in which he has taken to the batter's box. First pitch missed low, and it's ball 1. Well, the Hardhats were able to get some offense with 2 outs in the top of the first. Just couldn't play at Alex Weaver after the 2-out single. The 1-0 missed the zone inside, 2-0. 2-0 count for Hegre. Tall righty Zimmer, full windup, and he deals. That's a called strike. And it's 2 balls and a strike. If Hegre is retired, 4, 5, and 6 are due up for the Royals in the bottom half of this inning. Hegre's next pitch, a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. If not, Ryan Schmidt's in the on-deck circle. His leg pads are on, just in case. 2-2 to Hegre. That misses low, and the count will go full. First payoff pitch of the ball game for either pitcher, Zimmer or Ritchie. Zimmer full windup, payoff to Hegre. Swung on, and the ball is foul. It trickled to the shallow parts of the infield, but our umpire had signaled foul, so no play was made on the ball. And we'll have a second payoff pitch. Three balls, two strikes. And Zimmer's second payoff is swung on, and the ball's chopped to the left side of the infield. Stopped on the play by Blanchard at third, and the throw to first is in time, and that'll do it. So 5-3 in the books, retires the Hardhats. 1-2-3 on offense, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played an inning and a half out of our 9 in regulation, and we're still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back, the heart of the order due up for the Royals, starting off with Jarrett Linewan, the catcher, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats transition back from offense to defense. Dylan Ritchie back on the mound, set to face the heart of the Royals' order here in the bottom half of the second inning. Jarrett Linewan, the catcher, will lead off. He's followed by Dawson Smith, the first baseman, and Nick Nordstog, who serves as the designated hitter tonight. Looks like we're all done with the warm-ups in between innings, and the Royals are set to go back to offense. Jarrett Linewan, right-handed hitting catcher, set to step in the batter's box. Umpire tidies up home plate a bit, and it looks like we are good to go. 0-0 the score as we transition to the bottom half of the second inning. Royals now on the offensive. Dylan Ritchie, first pitch of the inning. Just missed outside on the fastball. 1-0 to Linewan. We are still scoreless between the Hardhats and the Royals here. Just the bottom of the second. Plenty of baseball to be played. 1-0. Called strike. Right over the heart of the plate. It's 1-1 now to Linewan. Linewan, Smith, and Nordstog due up in this inning. 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Ball and a strike the count. Ritchie from the stretch. 1-1. Curveball in there for strike two. Brilliant pitch. Called strike. It's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Ritchie looking for his first K of the start as well. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there's the first strikeout of the ballgame for Dylan Ritchie in this start. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. Brings us now to Dawson Smith, the first baseman of the Royals. Smith throws left, but he bats right. So a righty-on-righty matchup once again. First pitch from Ritchie, a called strike. And he starts off 0-1. 1 out, no one on here in the bottom of the second. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. The 0-1 is a fastball upstairs, and it's a ball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And Ritchie set to deal the 1-1. Breaking ball just missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. No one on here for Smith, the first baseman. And the 2-1 is high and inside. It's 3-1. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Ritchie's already allowed a free base runner with a hit by pitch. 1 pitch away from doing so with the base on balls. 3-1, caught the inside corner right at the knees of Smith. And now it's a full count. Big payoff pitch coming up here for Ritchie. Just got his first strikeout a batter ago. He's looking for 2 in a row. Payoff pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Right side of the infield. Carter Deming's going to shade over from second, and he makes the catch. Pop 4 in the book. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on defense. And that'll bring us to Nick Nordstog, the designated hitter for the Royals tonight. Nordstog, a right-handed batter, steps into the box, and it looks like we're good to go. Richie is set, and his first pitch. Swung on, and the ball is ripped foul. First base side and out of play. And Nordstog's behind 0-1. Richie looking poised in this early part of the ball game. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball inside, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Nick Nordstog, the DH. Richie looking to get out of this one, 2-3. He can do so on the next pitch. No one on the base path, 2 outs. Quick pitch is upstairs, 1-2. Richie wasted no time in getting that ball out of his hand the second he agreed on a sign. Ball and 2 strikes to count. And now he goes to his full set, and he deals. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove, strike 3, and that's going to do it. 2 strikeouts for Richie in what was a 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats on defense, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 2 frames of baseball, and we still have 0 runs between either the Royals or the Hardhats. We'll take a step aside. We'll be right back with the top of the third. 8-9-1 due up for the Hardhats, starting off with the catcher Ryan Schmidt in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We have played 2 frames of baseball, and we still don't have a single run scored between either the Billings Royals or the Post 22 Hardhats in those 2 innings. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats, it's no runs on a hit with no errors on defense. And on the other side for the Royals, it's no runs, no hits, and no errors. Mark Minetti alongside you in what I guess you could sort of call a broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Both myself and my director of Hardhats-TV, Seth Harwood, have been kicked out of the press box, if you will. We are on a picnic table to the right of the press box. That's where you're getting the glorious view behind home plate. Brooks Zimmer back on the mound for the Royals. He'll take on 8-9-1, starting off with the catcher, Ryan Schmidt. And his first pitch to start the top of the third is fouled right to the backstop, and Schmidt's behind 0-1. Schmidt comes into this ball game batting .143 on the season, and his 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2. May have looked like Schmidt actually caught a piece of that, but irrelevant at this point. He's in an 0-2 hole. Full windup for Zimmer, and the tall righty deals the 0-2. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that is 2 strikeouts for Zimmer, and 2 of them backwards Ks in the book. 1 up, 1 down to lead off the top of the third for the Hardhats. That'll bring us to Carter Deming, the second baseman. Deming just got his first hit of the season last Sunday against Cheyenne, batting .143 on the year. And his first pitch is a check swing, and did he go? They're saying he did. And I wouldn't disagree with that call either. 0-1 the count here to Deming. No one on the base path for him, and 1 out in the top of the third. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. 0-1, swung on and missed on an inside pitch. And it's 0-2 now to Deming. Deming taking his time here. Zimmer starting to catch fire. He is retired 5 in a row. 0-2, too far inside. A ball and 2 strikes now to Deming. Started off in the top half of the first, retiring Jack Sorensen on a ground out. And since then, he struck out 2 as well. 1-2, caught him looking, strike 3. And that's back-to-back strikeouts. All 3 strikeouts Zimmer has in this start are all backwards Ks. 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Hardhats. 6 in a row now retired. Dating back to the last out of the top of the first, and that brings us back to the top of the order to Cooper Bowman. So everybody has seen Zimmer at least once. First pitch to Bowman misses low and away. 1-0 the count. Bowman's 0 for 1. On his second pitch, he lined it to short, and Kay made the catch. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, ball is chopped to third. Stops made on the play by Blanchard. Throw to first is in time, and that's going to end it. 5-3 in the books, and for a second inning in a row, the Hardhats are retired. 1-2-3 on offense, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 2.5 innings of baseball, and we still don't have a single run scored between the Royals and the Hardhats. We will transition out of the bottom of the third. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Billings Royals here in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Hardhats back in their transition from offense to defense as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Another efficient inning for Brooks Zimmer. He's only thrown 30 pitches through his 3 innings in this start. He has 3 strikeouts under his belt as well. All 3 of them are backwards Ks. He had 8 pitches in the first, 13 in the second, and 9 in this top half of the third that he just finished. We will now transition over to Dylan Ritchie, as he will take on the left-handed hitting Cade Torgerson, the left fielder, leading off the bottom half of the third. 7, 8, 9 due up here for the Royals. Second lefty that Ritchie's seen in the start. First pitch. Fastball high and away. It's 1-0. Ritchie, by the way, just threw his 27th pitch to put that in perspective on what Zimmer's done through 3 innings, and Ritchie's entering his third. Ball and no strikes to count. And Ritchie deals to the lefty. Called strike on the outside corner. And it's 1-1. Torgerson, the left-handed hitting left fielder, followed by Dan Blanchard, the third baseman, and Michael Moorhead, the center fielder. Ball and a strike the count. Ritchie deals. Swung on, and it's fouled off third base side and out of play. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes to Torgerson, the left fielder for the Royals. Ritchie looking for his 3rd strikeout as well. Pitch away from accomplishing the task. Leadoff man in jeopardy. 1-2 pitch from Ritchie. Swung on, ball's hit right up the middle. Coming in from short is Bowman. He gets the stop. Throw to first is in time. Great play from Cooper Bowman, showing off that range at shortstop. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. And that will bring us to Dan Blanchard, the right-handed hitting third baseman. So 1 out, no one on here in the bottom of the third. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. Ritchie sets, and his first pitch is swung on, and that's hit right to second. A dribbler, stopped by Deming. He settles, throw to first in time. 2 up, 2 down relatively quickly for the Hardhats on defense. And that'll bring us to the 9-hole hitter, Michael Moorhead. Moorhead, the center fielder, a right-handed batter, steps into the box, and he's ready to go. No one on the base path and 2 down for the Royals here in the bottom half of the third. Still scoreless. First pitch from Ritchie. He shows bunt, and it sails way over our heads into the parking lot behind us. Nearly hit an SUV. Missed it by just inches. As the great Maxwell Smart once famously said, missed it by just that much. No balls and a strike the count. And Ritchie deals the 0-1. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Left side of the infield. Cooper Bowman's calling for it. He's underneath it at short, and he makes the catch. And that will do it. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats on defense. They have disposed of pretty much everyone on the Royals batting order, minus Atticus Bryant, hit by a pitch in the bottom half of the first. Another 1-2-3 inning. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 3 frames of baseball, and the Hardhats and the Royals are still scoreless. To the top of the 4th we go, and Connor King will lead off the Hardhats in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Zicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We played 3 innings of baseball, so exactly 1/3 of this game has been played. We don't have a single run yet. Hardhats back to the offensive here in the top of the 4th. Connor King leads off, and the lefty looks at strike 1 just under his letters. He was a tad bit shocked by that call, and I might have to agree with that one. He's behind 0-1. Hardhats, no runs on a hit with no errors. 3 zeros across the board for the Royals as the next pitch is low and inside and skips all the way to the backstop. So quickly the count evens up at 1-1 for Connor King. King is 0-1. He popped out to shortstop in his first at-bat on the first pitch he saw. 1-1 swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left, and coming in on the run from left to make the catch is Cade Turgeson. So an F7 in the book. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on offense, and that brings us to the gentleman with the only hit in this ball game between both teams. That's the left fielder, Alex Weaver. 1-for-1 with a 2-out single back in the top of the first. Took a 2-0 pitch and ripped it into left center. First pitch. Breaking ball, called strike at his knees. 0-1 the count to Weaver. Weaver coming into the game batting .158. That average will bump up just a little bit. Next pitch, low and away, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. No one on the base path for Weaver. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Still scoreless. Hardhats 5-0 record on the line this weekend. 1-1 is sent foul, first base side and out of play. And Weaver quickly behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jack Sorensen, the DH, is on deck. Came into this game leading the Hardhats with a .471 batting average. 1-2 pitch to Weaver. Misses low and away on a breaking ball. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zimmer about to throw his 38th pitch. Entered the inning with 30 pitches in 3 innings pitched. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. He deals to Weaver. And that's high and away, and the count goes full. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the Hardhats left fielder. Zimmer has yet to surrender a walk. He's a pitch away from doing so. Also a pitch away from what would be his 4th strikeout. Payoff pitch to Weaver is swung on and fouled off of himself. And the count will hold full. Payoff pitch number 2 coming up shortly to Weaver. Zimmer takes his time. Full windup. Payoff number 2. Swung on. Ball's hit right up the middle. Back to Zimmer. He nonchalantly takes his time and throws it to first to put out Weaver. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on offense. Now brings us to the DH and cleanup hitter, Jack Sorensen. 9 batters in a row have been retired for the Hardhats on offense. Jack Sorensen started off that trend. First pitch, a breaking ball low and away. 1-0 the count. Sorensen is 0-1, grounded out to second to end the top of the first. Since then, he all the way back around to his position have been retired consecutively. 1-0, a called strike right at his belt, and it's 1-1. Caldwell popped to first. Sumption a backwards K. Heggery a 5-3 ground out. Schmidt and Deming backwards Ks. Next pitch is low and away. 2 balls and a strike now to Sorensen. Bowman a 5-3 ground out. King a fly out to left. And Weaver a ground out right to the mound. So 9 consecutive retirements. 2-1 pitch from Zimmer to Sorensen is swung on and it's fouled off. First base side. And the count evens up to 2-2. However, you can say the same thing on the other side for the Hardhats. They have retired 7 in a row. And 2 of those 7 by strikeout, 1 by double play. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Zimmer deals to Sorensen. Swung on and it's popped up first base side. Charging it, but looking over the fence at the ball was Dawson Smith. And so Sorensen is still alive, 2 balls and 2 strikes. If he keeps the inning going, first baseman Jace Caldwell's on deck. If not, we are back to the top of the Royals order. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sorensen. Brooks Zimmer, a full windup, deals this 2-2. And he caught him looking, strike 3. And that is going to end the top half of the 4th. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats on offense, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 3.5 innings, and we're still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. We'll take a step aside. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th and the top of the Royals order in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, we've played 3.5 innings, and we still can't find a run between either the Hardhats or the Royals. 10 in a row retired for the Hardhats on offense. 7 in a row retired for the Royals on their side of the offense. Only 1 hit in the ballgame between both of these teams. That belongs to Alex Weaver of Post 22. And we're still in a scoreless deadlock, and Dylan Ritchie takes his position back on the mound. He faces the top of the Royals order. Carson Klumping, the leadoff hitter, swung on and fouled off of his person. 0-1 the count to Klumping. He flew out to Zach Sumption in right field. Since then, nothing has left the infield. Hit by pitch, 4-6-3 double play, 2 strikeouts, a pop to second, a ground to second, ground to short, and a pop to short. No balls and a strike to count, and Ritchie deals a breaking pitch low and away, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Mark Benetti alongside you in, I guess, what you could call a broadcast booth here at Pertz Field in Billings, Montana. Hardhats to take on 3 teams this weekend, starting off with the Royals in this single 9-inning game. 1-1, swung on, and it's hit to third. Heggery gets the stop. Heggery a throw to first is in time. Great play by Matt Heggery over at third. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. And that brings us to the left-handed hitting right fielder, Atticus Bryant. He's the only gentleman on the Royals roster that doesn't have an official at-bat. He was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the first. 1 of 2 lefties hitting for the Royals tonight. First pitch. Misses low and inside, 1-0. No one on the base path here for Bryant, and 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Still scoreless between the Hardhats and the Royals. Ritchie agrees on a sign with Schmidt, the catcher. And here comes the 1-0. Called strike at the knees of Bryant, and it's 1-1. Nice fastball there from Ritchie. Ball and a strike to count. Next pitch is fouled. And it's now 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Ritchie about to throw his 40th pitch with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Looking for his 3rd strikeout. And the 1-2. Missed upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 now the count to Atticus Bryant, two-hole hitter and left-handed hitting right fielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes, quick pitch, and that's upstairs. And the count goes full. 3-2 count now for Atticus Bryant. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, we are still scoreless. Richie hoping to avoid, I should say, a second free pass. Both of them, coincidentally, would belong to Bryant. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. And so it's a 1-out walk issued to Bryant. That puts a man on first, and that'll bring us to Jaden Kay, the shortstop, who grounded into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play back in the bottom of the 1st. Richie will come from the stretch. First pitch. Swung on, and the ball is ripped foul. First base side out of play, and it's 0-1 to Kay. Kay had a 2-2 count when he hit in the 4-6-3 inning-ending sequence. And coincidentally enough, Brian was the man on first as a part of all that. 0-1 to Kay. Breaking ball. Called strike. Right at the belt of Kay. A beautiful pitch from Richie. It's 0-2. Strikeout number 3 on the line for number 28 for the Hardhats. Richie takes a look at the man on first, and Brian deals us 0-2. Swung on, and the ball is ripped foul once again, first base side and out. And the count will hold full. Excuse me, count will hold at 0-2. My apologies. Looked at the wrong batter's square in the scorebook. Brian had a full count. Kay is behind 0-2, just to set the record straight. No balls, 2 strikes. Richie takes his time, and he deals. Upstairs. Throw to first is not there in time from Schmidt. 1-2 now the count. Richie from the stretch again. Caught him looking. Strike 3 with a curveball inside. And that is his 3rd strikeout of the start. 2 down with a man on first brings us to Jarrett Linewan, the catcher. A brilliant pitch from Richie with a ball and 2 strikes. Broke and hit the inside part, and that was it. So that's 3 strikeouts for him, his first backwards K in the book. And that brings us to Linewan, who registered the first of 3 Dylan Richie strikeouts. First pitch, swung on and missed. High fastball, it's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count. Dawson Smith, the first baseman, on deck if Linewan somehow keeps the inning going. Man on first and 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. Richie takes his time, 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch a little too far inside, and the count evens up at 1-1. For those following Stanley Cup playoff action, the Vegas Golden Knights fell in Game 1 to the Winnipeg Jets. 4-2 was the final. 4 different goal scorers for Winnipeg. 3 wins away from their first ever appearance in a Stanley Cup final. Check to first is not there. So safe on the bag is Atticus Bryant. Not that big a lead off at first, but you can't be too safe. Ball and a strike the count. And Richie deals a fastball upstairs. 2-1 now to Jarrett Linewan. The cleanup hitter and catcher for the Royals, 0 for 1, registered the first of 3 Dylan Richie strikeouts in this start. 2 balls and a strike to count. Richie takes a peek to first. And the 2-1 is upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count to Jarrett Linewan. Richie hoping to avoid a 3rd free pass and a 2nd by a base on balls, both of which would have come in this inning. And the 3-1 swung on and missed, and the count goes full. Fastball about chest high to Linewan. He likes the high fastball. Be interesting to see with Richie what pitch he goes with. Payoff pitch. Next one could end the inning. 2 outs, a man on first. And Ritchie deals the payoff pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3, and that's going to end it. 4th strikeout of the ballgame for Dylan Ritchie and his 2nd in the inning. No runs, no hits once again, no errors, a man left on the base path. We have played 4 innings of baseball, and we're still scoreless between the Billings Royals and the Rapid City Post 22 Hardhats. We will take a quick breather, and when we come back, Jace Caldwell will lead off the top of the 5th for Post 22 in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. How many times have you heard this tonight? We've played X amount of innings and we still don't have a run between the Royals and the Hardhats. Well, you're about to hear it for a 5th time because through 4 innings of play, the Hardhats and the Royals are still scoreless. Numbers across the board, very few and far between that aren't zeros. For the Hardhats, it's no runs on a hit with no errors on defense. And for the Royals, no runs, no hits, and no errors. Thanks so much for sticking around with us tonight despite the weird schedule. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and on Hardhats-TV on the internet. Jace Caldwell leads off the top of the 5th for Post 22. Brooks Zimmer still on the mound for the Royals. First pitch is chopped foul, third base side, nearly hit his head coach Kelvin Torvey. He got out of dodge there, 0-1. Caldwell is 0 for 1. He popped out in foul territory to first base. No balls and a strike is count, and Zimmer deals. Swung on, and that's ripped over his teammate's dugout. 0-2. Somebody should put a hard hat in fair territory. He might hit it. No balls, 2 strikes the count. 2 pitches fought off by Caldwell. And Zimmer deals the 0-2. That's upstairs, and Caldwell does not offer at the pitch. 1-2 now to the Hardhats first baseman. Caldwell, Sumption, and Hegre due up here in the top of the 5th. Still scoreless. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And Jace Caldwell is the 5th strikeout that Brooks Zimmer has issued. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on offense. That brings us to Zach Sumption, the right fielder. 11 consecutive batters retired for the Hardhats. First pitch to Sumption. Breaking ball upstairs, 1-0. Sumption 0 for 1. He was the first of what are now 5 Zimmer strikeouts. 1-0, swung on, hit high in the air to right center field. Both center and right are charging for the ball, and coming in from center, shading to his left to make the catch, is Michael Moorhead. Nice defensive play by Moorhead over there in center. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats here in the top of the 5th. And that'll bring us to Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Hegre grounded out to his position to end the top half of the 2nd. In a similar scenario here with no one on and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. First pitch is swung on and missed. Ball looks like it died just shy of the plate, so a nice change up there from Zimmer. 0-1 the count. Full windup for Zimmer. And the 0-1 swung on and it's hit to short. Kane makes the stop on a high hop. His throw to first is off the bag. And Hegre safe on the throwing error from the shortstop. And because the ball went into the dugout, they are awarding Hegre second base. So an E6 with 2 outs puts a man in scoring position for Ryan Schmidt, the Hardhats catcher. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. This is the best scoring chance either of these teams have had all night. Crucial juncture here for the Hardhats. And Zimmer's going to step off the rubber. He doesn't like the ball he has, so he'll get a new one. That does not have a scuff to his liking. Schmidt 0 for 1, a backwards K, the second of 5 Zimmer strikeouts. He has a man on second, 2 outs. First pitch to Schmidt, a called strike right at his knees. 0-1 the count. Matt Hegre is the man in scoring position on second. He was safe at first, a throwing error from short that took the first baseman off the bag. Then the ball went into the dugout to award him an extra base. 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike on the inside part of the plate, and it's 0-2 now to Schmidt. Zimmer trying to strand that runner on second. This is the first base runner that the Hardhats have had since Alex Weaver in the top of the first. 11 consecutive batters retired up to that point. 0-2 is fought off foul. And the count holds at 0-2. So Schmidt's not going down without a fight here. Carter Deming on deck if Schmidt can somehow either knock in Hegre or at least get on base and keep the inning going. No balls and 2 strikes to count. And Zimmer deals. Breaking pitch, low and away. And the count's now a ball and 2 strikes. If Schmidt is retired, 5, 6, and 7 are due up for the Royals in the bottom half of the 5th, starting off with Dawson Smith. If not, as I mentioned, Deming on deck, patiently waiting for a chance to either give the Hardhats the lead or potentially extend it, depending on what happens in Schmidt's at-bat here. Ball and 2 strikes to count. And Zimmer deals. That's low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schmidt is not chasing anything out of the zone, so good discipline from the young catcher. Next pitch out of Zimmer's hand is number 60 in the start. And here comes the 2-2. Low and away. And the count goes full. So good on Schmidt to battle back this way. Big payoff pitch coming up here from Zimmer to Schmidt. Man on second, 2 outs, top of the 5th, scoreless. Best scoring chance of the entire ball game for either team. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that will end the threat. The 6th strikeout from Brooks Zimmer. Strands Hegre, 180 feet away from home. No runs, no hits, 1 error charged to the Royals on defense, and a man left on the base path in scoring position. We have officially played half of regulation, 4.5 innings in the books, and the Royals and the Hardhats are still scoreless. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Dawson Smith, Royals first baseman, will lead us off in just a few moments. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats, as I was mentioning to my director Seth Harwood moments ago, had the best scoring chance of the ball game in that top half of the 5th. Unfortunately, Ryan Schmidt could not knock in Matt Hegre 180 feet away from home. And so that means at halftime of this ball game, if you will, we are still deadlocked at 0s. Numbers across the board through 4.5. The Hardhats have the only hit of the ball game. No runs, a hit, and no errors. While the Royals have no runs and no hits, but 1 error now on defense. Dawson Smith will lead off the bottom half of the 5th for the Royals. He is still taking on Dylan Ritchie, whose first pitch of this inning will be number 54 in the start. First pitch, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count from Ritchie to Smith. Dawson Smith is 0 for 1, popped out to second. Carter Deming was on that one the whole way. 0-1 from Ritchie. That's a breaking pitch in the dirt, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Smith, Nordstog, and Torgerson are due up in this bottom half of the 5th. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. 1-1. Missed low and away, 2 balls and a strike. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Pertz Field. in Billings, Montana. Still scoreless between the Royals and the Hardhats. Next pitch was a fastball that missed low and away, and it's now 3-1 from Richie to Dawson Smith. 3-1 now the count. Richie from the stretch. Deals. Swung on. Ball is hit into left field for a base hit. And so Dylan Ritchie's no-hitter went almost 5 innings. It's a leadoff single for Dawson Smith. Nick Nordstog, the DH, is now up for the Royals. First hit of the ball game for Billings. Took them 5 innings to get there. Nordstog was the second of now 4 strikeout victims for Dylan Ritchie. He'll take a look at the man on first. First pitch. Bunt is showed. He went and crossed. So that'll be strike 1 to Nordstog. 0-1 the count. Charging in from third was Hegre to try and make the play. If Hegre gets to it quick enough, he could potentially get the lead runner at second. Man on first, no one out. Small ball potentially required for anybody to get some offense going. And the pitch. Bunt showed again. That one missed low and away. And the count evens up at 1-1. Hegre's about parallel with Ritchie on the mound. Waiting to field that bunt should have come right to him down the third base line. So if you're Nordstog, you want to push it the opposite direction. Just so they either make the play at first or you squeak on with the bunt single. 1-1 pitch. He swings away and it's fouled. So unless Nordstog's feeling very lucky, the bunt is no longer relevant. Ball and 2 strikes to count now to Nordstog, the DH for the Royals. He has a man on first and no one out in the bottom of the 5th. And the Royals and the Hardhats are still scoreless. Ritchie a quick peek over to first. And from the stretch, deals the 1-2. That's high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Dawson Smith with the leadoff single now takes his lead off of first. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Nordstog, the DH. No one out, bottom of the 5th, still scoreless. 2-2 is high and inside, and the count goes full. 3-2. So another full count here for Ritchie. He's gotten out of all but 1 of his 3 so far. Payoff pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to the center of the infield. Bowman comes over from short, calls it off, and he makes the catch. A good play by Cooper Bowman to come over from short, again show his range, also show his smarts and communicate that he had it. That is very valuable at this level of baseball, the American Legion level. So 1 on and 1 down now for the Royals, and that brings us to the left-handed hitting Cade Torgerson, the left fielder of the Billings Royals. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. First pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air, foul, and out of play third base side. Torgerson behind, 0-1. Torgerson has Dawson Smith on first with that leadoff single to start off the bottom of the 5th. 1 out, and we're still deadlocked at zeros. Ritchie from the stretch, quick peek to first, and the 0-1 is a pitch up high. Tried to make it break down. 1-1 now the count. Dan Blanchard, the third baseman, on deck if the double play does not end the inning. 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Second lefty in the lineup for the Royals, the first one being the 2-hole hitter Atticus Bryan. Atticus Bryan was hit by a pitch and walked. Torgerson 0 for 1, again with the ground out to short. His second plate appearance. 2 balls and a strike is count, and the pitch. Just missed low and inside. And now it's a 3-1 count. And if this next pitch is a free pass, then for the first time all game, the Royals have their first man in scoring position. Big pitch coming up here for Ritchie. 3-1. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. Zach Sumption shadows to his right. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch. And retreating back to first is Dawson Smith. So a big second out there for the Hardhats on defense, and that'll bring us to Dan Blanchard, the third baseman. Blanchard 0 for 1, ground out to second, ended his first at-bat. Dylan Ritchie about to throw his 70th pitch in this start. First pitch. Misses high and outside. 1-0 the count to Blanchard. Michael Moorhead on deck, center fielder, if we get that far. 2 outs and a man on first, bottom of a scoreless 5th inning. 1-0, called strike, a fastball in the outside corner, and it's 1-1. If this is the final out of the inning, Carter Deming leads off the top of the 6th. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Hardhats. 1-1, breaking ball just missed low and away. 2-1 now the count. That was a good pitch by Ritchie. You try to make him fish for it. Very well placed as well. But you got to credit Blanchard. He didn't make an offer at it. Dawson Smith takes his lead off at first. 2-1. High and inside, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Smith led off the inning with a single. He's been standing on first since he reached the base path. Nordstock originally tried to bunt him over. Took 2 chances at it. Didn't pull back on one, pulled back on the second, and decided to swing away. Popped out to short. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And now the count goes full. Ritchie looking to end the inning on this next payoff pitch to Dan Blanchard. Leading off of first, Dawson Smith. He will go on the throw. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that is K number 5 in the book for Dylan Ritchie. No runs on a hit with no errors and another man stranded on first. We've played 5 innings, and we still don't have a run between the Billings Royals and the Post 22 Hardhats. Top of the 6th inning coming up. Bottom of the order due up for the Hardhats with the 9-hole hitter Carter Deming slated to lead off. I'll be back with his at-bat and more in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Top of the 6th inning here from Pertz Field in Billings. And Carter Deming leads off and looks at a first pitch called strike on a breaking ball from Brooks Zimmer, still on the mound in this start. 0-0 score as the next pitch skips to the plate. It's now 1-1 to Deming. 2 hits in the ballgame, 1 for each team, only 1 error that was charged to Billings. Not a single run, though. And the next pitch hits Carter Deming. And he will take his base to first. So the Hardhats get the leadoff man on with a hit by pitch. And that's going to bring us all the way to the top of the order to Cooper Bowman. Bowman 0 for 2 with a line out to his position at short and a ground out to third. Brooks Zimmer about to throw his 65th pitch in this start. But that was one that he'd really like to have back. So now the speedster Deming's on the base path. First pitch. Bowman tries to drop the bunt, but it's foul, third base side. 0-1 the count to Bowman, and I'm not surprised at that at all. I think small ball's going to win this ball game here. Bowman didn't pull back for the bunt until very late. So we'll see if he actually offers beforehand. Shows that he's going to drop it down. No balls and a strike to Bowman. Check to first. Nearly over the head of Dawson Smith, but he's able to snare it. He had to stretch for that one. So no balls and a strike here to Bowman. Still waiting on that second pitch. Deming takes a lead off of first. Another check to first, and it's not there in time. Trying to keep Deming as tethered to that bag as possible. Now is not the time for a base running gaff, though. The Hardhats' base running has been much better the last couple games. They ran into a few issues their first three. Next pitch to Bowman, swung on it. It's hit right up the middle. Stop is made at second by Klumping, and that's all he's going to get. So he gets the out at second to take out the lead runner. So that's a 4 unassisted fielder's choice, as Bowman is safe at first. So Connor King now comes up with 1 out. And 1 on here in the top of the 6th. King's 0 for 2. And now there's even faster wheels on the base path with Bowman on first. First pitch from Zimmer. High and outside. Ball 1 to the left-handed hitting King. King popped out to short, and then he flew out to left. Made some great contact on the ball his last at-bat. But Torgerson over in left made a great play. 1-0 his count. And the pitch. High and away. 2-0. We're still scoreless here in the top of the 6th. Cooper Bowman standing 90 feet to the right of King on first. Hardhats are looking for some way to break this deadlock. Next pitch, a called strike on the outside corner to King, and it's 2 balls and a strike to the Hardhats' left-handed hitting center fielder. If the double play doesn't end the inning, Alex Weaver's on deck. Here comes the 2-1. Runner goes. Next pitch is swung on and it's fouled. The hit and run was employed there. But King fouled it, and it's now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes a count. Bowman takes his lead off at first, and he's back as he is checked down. Cooper Bowman, by the way, is 3 for 3 on stolen bases, for what that's worth. King steps out of the batter's box, and now he steps back in. He's ready to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to King with Bowman on first. 1 out, scoreless top of the 6th. Next pitch low and inside, and that'll push the count full. 3-2 now to King. It's a big pitch coming up here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes. Next pitch swung on it. That ball's ripped high in the air to right, and underneath it to make the catch is Atticus Bryant. His throw to first is not in time as Bowman got back. A well-hit ball by King, but once again, it's properly defended. 2 down with the go-ahead run on first, and that'll bring us to Alex Weaver, who at one point had the only hit of the ball game. Now we can say he has one of only 2 hits for the Hardhats. I don't see where that second hit's coming from, to be perfectly honest. First pitch in the dirt, and it's blocked by Linewand. 1-0 count to Weaver, who is 1 for 2, a single and a ground out right back to the mound. They have 2 hits listed for the Hardhats. I have an error listed because the throw took the man off of first base and allowed the runner to be safe. Check to first. Bowman's back. 1-0 the count to Weaver, still waiting on that second pitch. Man on first, 2 outs now, top of the 6th. And the 1-0. Misses low, 2 balls, no strikes to Weaver. Jack Sorensen, the DH, is on deck if Weaver can keep the inning going. 2-0 from Zimmer. Swung on, and that ball is hit by the diving second baseman, clumping and into right for a base hit. Weaver with 2 hits on the ball game, and Bowman safe on third. Weaver will take second on the throw. A 2-out single, and 2 men in scoring position now for the Hardhats. Here in the top of the 6th, and that brings us to the cleanup hitter, Jack Sorensen. His first hit of the ball game would surely give the Hardhats a lead. And now it looks like we have a conference on the mound here. Don't know if we're going to have a pitching change just yet. Maybe just a conversation on how to properly defend the upcoming sequence of offense from the Hardhats. This is the best scoring opportunity in the ballgame, as post 22 now has 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs, and the DH, Jack Sorensen, coming up. Conference is over, and it looks like we're going to get right to it. Sorensen steps in, 0 for 2 with a ground out to second and a strikeout. Both of those ended innings, top of the 1st and the top of the 4th. Hoping to avoid a repeat in that category. First pitch swung on, hit high in the air, foul territory, and that is out of play, as Dawson Smith from first watches it sail over the fence. 0-1 the count. By the way, that was just Zimmer's 75th pitch of the game. Sorensen steps back into the batter's box. 90 feet to his left, the most immediate threat on the base path is Cooper Bowman. Alex Weaver across from him on second. No balls and a strike the count. And Zimmer deals. Swung on and missed on a breaking pitch outside. And the count is quickly 0-2 to Sorensen. Strike 3 dealt from Zimmer would end the threat and strand 2 men on the base path in scoring position for post 22 and keep this game deadlocked. 0-0 score, top of the 6th. 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs for the Hardhats. They need a hit. 0-2 from Zimmer. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that will end it. Brooks Zimmer, 7 strikeouts, and this one ends a big threat. No runs on a hit with no errors charged to the Royals. 2 men left on the base path, including one 90 feet from giving us the first run of the ball game. Still deadlocked at zeros through 5.5 innings. We'll take a quick breather with the bottom half of the 6th inning coming up, and the 9-hole hitter, Michael Moorhead, leading off for the Royals. Here in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, there's a changing of the guard for the Hardhats on the mound. Taking over for Dylan Ritchie is Zach Weitzel. So Zach Weitzel comes in for his second appearance of the season. He is 1-0. He got his win in 3 innings of relief on Sunday. He's allowed 2 runs. None of them are earned. He's allowed 0 hits. He struck out a pair, he's walked 3, and he has an ERA of 0. So good start to the season for that young gentleman, taking over for Ritchie, who went 5 innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs, struck out 7 in the start. All on 75 pitches. First pitch from Weitzel to the 9-hole hitter Michael Moorhead is outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Moorhead, who's 0 for 1. And the next pitch is low and away, and it's 2-0. Moorhead followed by the top of the order, Clumping and Bryan, here in this bottom half of a scoreless 6th inning. Full windup for Weitzel. Here's a 2-0. Called strike on the outside corner. Nicely placed pitch. 2-1. Only 1 hit in this ball game for the Royals. That came in the bottom of the 5th. Leadoff single to Dawson Smith, and he was stranded there. Next pitch, called strike at the knees of Moorhead. And now the count's deadlocked at 2. Good on Weitzel to battle back. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Weitzel deals. Low and away, and the count goes full. Royals looking for that leadoff man to get on. Big payoff pitch coming here from Weitzel. And he deals. Swung on. Ball's hit to short. Bowman charges. Gets the scoop. Throw to first is in time. To Jace Caldwell over at first. 6-3 in the book. 1 up, 1 down. And back to the top of the Royals order we will go. To Carson Klumping, the second baseman. Klumping 0 for 2 on the ball game. His third plate appearance. Flew out to right in the bottom of the first to lead off the offensive entries for the Royals. Grounded out to third to start off the bottom half of the fourth. And he looks at a first pitch called strike from Zach Weitzel. Weitzel taking over for Dylan Ritchie. Next pitch, a called strike. Outside corner, and it's 0-2. And my apologies, Ritchie had 5 strikeouts, not 7. Read the wrong side of the scorebook. No balls, 2 strikes. And Weitzel deals. Swung on, ball is hit to first. Caldwell, can he make the play? That is a fair ball. That is a fair ball. Sumption trying to field it in right. And on second is Klumping with the double. The umpire took forever to make the call. And originally had his right hand outstretched, and Kelvin Torvey's coming to argue it. He originally had the right hand outstretched, so I thought it was going to be a foul ball, and all of a sudden he pointed in. I wouldn't be surprised if this got called back. And it looks like it's going to stick. It's an unfortunate break against the Hardhats here. Now a man in scoring position as Klumping's going to get the 1-out double. And that brings us to Atticus Bryan, the left-handed hitting right fielder. Got to hope a call like that's not going to go against the Hardhats in what's been a very defensive, pitching-oriented game. So now a man in scoring position for the Royals. First pitch from Weitzel. Swung on and missed. Bryan looked like he was swinging for the fences there. 0-1 the count. Bryan doesn't have an official at-bat. He has a hit by pitch and a base on balls on his stat line. Weitzel from the stretch takes a look at second, and the pitch. Swung on and missed again, strike 2. Weitzel in the driver's seat, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Weitzel looking for his first K in relief. It'd be a big one at that. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And so Weitzel gets a big first K in the book for a second out here in the bottom of the 6th. A man in scoring position, and that'll bring us to Jaden Kay, the shortstop. Jaden Kay has a double play and a K on his stat line, so he is 0 for 2. Inning-ending 4-6-3 double play in the bottom of the 1st and a backwards K in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch is a breaking ball up high. 1-0 the count to Kay. Kay has a man on second. Carson Klumping somehow with a double. Standing in scoring position. 1-0 from Weitzel. Swung on, ball's hit up the middle. Bowman makes the stop at short. Throw to first, in time, and the threat's ended. And the Hardhats get out of the jam. No runs on a hit with no errors charged to the Hardhats. A man left stranded on second. And at the end of 6 innings of play, the call does not go against the Hardhats, and we are still scoreless. We'll be back in just a few moments, folks. Jace Caldwell will lead off for the Hardhats in the top of the 7th, looking to get something going for them on the scoreboard. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We have played 6 innings of baseball, and we still don't have a run to speak of and only 4 total hits. Somehow the board's reading 3, but I have an error charger. I believe an error should be charged. So 4 combined hits. I'm just going to call myself the official scorer here. To the top of the 7th we go. Jace Caldwell looks at a first pitch strike. Brooks Zimmer still on the mound for the Royals. That was pitch number 78. 0-1 the count to Caldwell. And quickly the 0-1 missed high and away. It's 1-1. Caldwell, Sumption, Hegre due up for the Hard Hats in this top half of the 7th. Still scoreless. Both teams, no runs on 2 hits, but the Royals have an error. 1-1. High and inside breaking pitch, and it's 2 balls and a strike to the Hard Hat first baseman. Caldwell, 0 for 2 with a pop out to first in foul territory and the 5th of 7 Brooks Zimmer strikeouts. Next pitch is fouled off down the third base line, and quickly it's 2 balls, 2 strikes for Caldwell. Hard Hats had a glorious opportunity to try and take the lead. 2 runners stranded in scoring position. 2-2 from Zimmer. Swung on, balls hit foul over my head and into the field behind me. And the count will hold even, 2-2. Zach Sumption's on deck. He's 0 for 2. 2-2 to Caldwell. Breaking pitch swung on, and it's hit over the head of Zimmer to short. Kay makes the stop on the run, and his throw to first is not in time. An infield single as Jace Caldwell is safe. Way to hustle down the line. A leadoff infield single for Jace Caldwell. And that is going to bring us to Zach Sumption. So the leadoff man is on. And now it looks like we have some action going on in the Royals bullpen. Sumption tries to drop the bunt. He does so to Zimmer on the mound, and the throw to second's there. So an unsuccessful sacrifice bunt for Sumption, as it is a 1-4 fielder's choice. So the lead runner is out. The Hard Hats really need to get that sacrifice bunt down. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe they are 0 for 2 in sac bunt scenarios this year. Hegre now comes up. He reached on an error the last time he was up. His first pitch misses up high, 1-0. So with that being said, Hegre is 0 for 2. Ground out to third, and then the E6. Hard Hats still have a man on first, but now 1 out. And the pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to right. Charging in from right is Bryan. And Bryan in foul territory. It goes off his glove. Sumption's trying to take off for second, and they'll get the out at second. And so now it's 2 down and still a man on first. That is an E9, but still a putout. So a second error. And wait a second. They're calling Hegre out at first. That shouldn't be the case at all. He's back on first. I don't see why he'd be called out. I'm trying to make sense of this. I can't hear what the umpires are saying. I don't know what in the heck's going on here. And so now 2 outs. Good. They got that one right. I don't know how you could potentially have screwed that one up. The ball was dropped in right, and then Bryan from right threw it to second to get the lead runner. Hegre was still on first. That's where he stood the whole time. So you can't get him out. He's on his bag. He's not leaving his bag. He's safe. So, like, I really don't see what the heck the mix-up was all about on the umpire's part. Ball was made live once the player touched it. So, man's on first, 2 outs now, and that will bring us to Ryan Schmidt Hegre will reach on the air. That was an E9. The ball was dropped right out of the glove. Ryan Schmidt's now up with a man on first and 2 outs. Schmidt 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, looking for his first hit, and boy, would it come at a very crucial time. We're still in the top of the 7th. Runner goes. First pitch is swung on, and it's hit into left field for a base hit. Hegre's going to round second. He's going to get to third. The left fielder falls. They're setting Hegre. He rounds third. He's coming home, and the throw sails over the head, and the Hardhats take the lead at 1-0. And standing on third with the RBI double and advancing to third on the throw is Ryan Schmidt. And the Hardhats finally have broken this scoreless deadlock, and they have a 1-0 lead with 2 outs and a man 90 feet from scoring here in the top of the 7th. And Hegre came all the way from first to score. And so now Carter Deming comes up with a man 90 feet to his left. And the first pitch from Zimmer. Bunt is showed. Deming pulled back, and it's ball 1 inside. A big RBI double for Schmidt. He advanced to third on the throw home. Ball and no strikes the count for Carter Deming. 1-0. The Hardhats finally have the lead. Next pitch is high and outside. That looked like a pitch out. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes the count here to Deming, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking and a hit by pitch. Here comes his 2-0. Strike called on the inside part, right at his knees, and it's 2-1. So Ryan Schmidt comes up with the big RBI hit. Hard to believe that the Hardhats could have nearly been cheated out of that because of an umpiring error, but they got through it. 2-1, swung on, and that's fouled off of our umpire's paraphernalia, and the count will even up at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Deming trying to stay alive. Our catcher, Jarrett Linewan, fixing some of his paraphernalia before we get to the 2-2 pitch. On third, Ryan Schmidt. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Deming, and the pitch is upstairs, and the count goes full. By the way, Zimmer just threw his 92nd pitch. Of this start. There is action in the bullpen, though, for the Royals. Payoff to Deming. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left. Kay gives away to the left fielder, Turgeson, and Turgeson makes the catch, and that's going to do it. The Hardhats strike, though, in dramatic fashion. 1 run scored on a pair of hits, 1 error charged to the Royals, and 1 man left 90 feet from scoring. We've played 6.5 innings. Everybody get up and stretch if you haven't already done so. Hardhats have a 1-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 7th. Heart of the order due up for the Royals when we come back in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, we finally no longer have a scoreless deadlock. It is a 1-0 Hardhats lead, and it came on an RBI double from Ryan Schmidt to knock Matt Hegre in all the way from first. So now we go to the bottom half of the 7th. And now it's the Royals that are looking for that tying run. Hardhats have their 1 run on 4 hits. And the Royals have no runs on a pair of hits and a pair of errors as well. Heart of the order due up here for the Royals. Zach Weitzel back on the mound in relief. He will take on Jarrett Linewan first. First pitch is low and away on a fastball. 1-0. Linewan is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. The first and fourth of 5 eventually dealt out by Dylan Ritchie in his start. 1-0 from Weitzel. That's a called strike right at the belt of Linewand, and it's 1-1. So Linewand, Dawson Smith, and Nick Nordstog due up in this inning. Those three gentlemen are a combined 1 for 6. Smith has the only hit in those three. 1-1's way outside, 2 balls and a strike. Jarrett Linewand, the catcher for the Royals. Potentially we'll have a new gentleman throwing to him, and I think that was Tucker Smith that I originally saw going into the bullpen. 2-1 from Weitzel. That's a little too far inside. 3-1 now the count to Linewand. A walk would put the tying run on the base path with no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. We're playing a 9-inning game, so there's still plenty of baseball left. Here comes the 3-1. And that's high and away, ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk issued by Weitzel to Jarrett Linewand. Tying run is on board. Would not be surprised if small ball was instituted, as Dawson Smith now comes up. However, Dawson Smith does have one of only 2 hits for the Royals, so maybe they'll let him go. Leading off of first is Linewand. Hegre prepared to charge in from third. First pitch is upstairs. Bunt was not shown, 1-0. Dawson Smith, as I mentioned, he had the first hit of the ball game for the Royals. The second hit was Carson Klumpine with that surprise double. 1-0 the count, and the pitch. Outside. Schmidt fakes the throw over to first, and it's 2-0. Timeout called by the Hardhats as pitching coach Ryan Clapridge will come to the mound to have a word with his young right-handed fireballer. 2-0 the count here to Dawson Smith as we have a slight break in the action. He, Weitzel, and Schmidt gather on the mound to exchange pleasantries. Tying run is on board for the Royals here in the bottom of the 7th. It's a 1-0 Hardhats lead. Ryan Schmidt with the big hit of the ball game right now. He had Hegre on first with 2 outs, and he doubled to left, advanced to third on the throw. 2 balls, no strikes. Conference is over, and back to it we go to Dawson Smith. And Weitzel deals. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. And it's 2-1. Man is on first. And that is Jarrett Linewand with the leadoff base on balls. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left. Chasing from left is Weaver. He's on the run towards the wall, and the ball drops at the fence. Rounding third and heading home is Linewand. Weaver gets it into Bowman. Bowman home. Throw is not in time, and we are tied at 1. An RBI double from Dawson Smith with no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And we are all square at 1. And now Nick Nordstog, the DH, comes up. Nordstog 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop out to short. And so once again, we're right back level. Weitzel's first pitch. Swung on, and that ball is hit up the middle and into center for a base hit. King comes in to field it and gets the throw in all the way to home. Covering is Weitzel, but staying on third is Dawson Smith advancing. So it's another single for Nordstog. The second hit of the inning here for the Royals. It's now men on the corners, no one out. And that's going to bring us to Cade Torgerson. The left-handed hitting left fielder will step in. So Weitzel has his hands full here as the go-ahead run is 90 feet to the left of Torgerson. First pitch. Swung on, ball's hit foul. Third base side and out of play, and it's 0-1. Torgerson has men on the corners, still no one registered out here in the bottom of the 7th. And what was a 1-0 Hardhats lead is now a 1-1 deadlock, and the Royals are threatening. Weitzel from the stretch. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Torgerson way ahead of that one, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Weitzel needs a big out at the plate here. 1 pitch away from doing so. Here comes his 0-2. Swung on, and the ball's hit to second. Deming can't snag the ball. He tries to get it backhand to first, not in time. I think Deming may have suffered an injury there. He's limping a little bit. A run is scored, and that gives the Royals now a 2-1 lead. As advancing to second is Nordstog, and on first, I believe, with the hit, is Torgerson. I think they're going to give him the RBI infield hit. So still no outs, men on first and second, and it's a 2-1 Royals lead. Head coach Kelvin Torvey comes out to talk to Carter Deming. He's gingerly walking around the second base position. As there's another infield conference with some of the infielders. I think Deming's saying he's good to go. He's going to walk it off. So men on first and second. Still no one out here in the bottom of the seventh, and the Royals, on the power of 3 consecutive hits, now all of a sudden have a 2-1 lead. Stepping into the batter's box is Dan Blanchard, the third baseman. Blanchard 0 for 2. Ground out to second and a strikeout. Weitzel still on the mound. His 28th pitch in relief. First pitch. Called strike. Outside corner at the knees of Blanchard. It's 0-1. Men on first and second here for Blanchard. Still no one out in the bottom of the seventh. Now it's a 2-1 lead for Billings. Weitzel checks the man on second. 0-1 pitch, a called strike. Weitzel in the driver's seat, 0-2 count against Blanchard, who's still looking for his first hit of this ball game. No balls, 2 strikes. And Weitzel deals. That's a breaking pitch low and away. And it's 1-2. So Blanchard didn't go for the breaking pitch away. Ball and 2 strikes a count. As Weitzel looks in for the sign, he'll pitch again from the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and it's check swung foul. And the count will hold at 1-2. Weitzel wants to get out of this inning, but got to register 3 outs. None have been registered yet. There are men on first and second. He needs this out at the plate. 1-2 pitch. High and away. And it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the Royals' third baseman, Dan Blanchard, with Michael Moorhead, the center fielder, on deck. It's a 2-1 Royals lead. 2 1s on 3 consecutive hits. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And the throw to second is not in time. Schmidt tried to catch Nick Nordstog asleep at the switch. So a big second strikeout there for Weitzel. 1 down. The double play can end the inning at any of the 3 bags. And that'll bring up Michael Moorhead, the center fielder. Men on first and second and 1 out. The Hardhats can turn 2. They're right back to the offense. First pitch, swung on and missed. Moorhead fanned on the fastball. 0-1. Moorhead 0 for 2. Both of his outs registered by Cooper Bowman on a pop 6 and a 6-3 ground out. Men on first and second for him and 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-1 is upstairs. Ball and a strike. 2-1 is the Royals lead. Leadoff walk for Linewand. He came around on an RBI double from Dawson Smith. And then it was another single to put men on the corners and an RBI single from Kay Torgerson to break the deadlock. Next pitch, a breaking ball, and he went. That's strike 2. Tried to show bunt. That was a misguided attempt at a breaking pitch out of the zone. 1-2 now the count. Weitzel potentially another big out at the plate here. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. It is foul. It is to the right of where my little table is, and it bounces next to Mr. Caldwell, keeping score on Game Changer. Tad bit dangerous, but nobody was hurt. 1-2 now the count. And the pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled. Skims over the fence and behind us. This is a target-rich environment, if you will. 1-2 still the count here to Michael Moorhead, the center fielder. Looking for his first hit. He has a man in scoring position to work with and only one out. Men on first and second, though, so the double play at any bag can end it. 1-2. Swung on. Ball is hit high in the air to short. Underneath it is Cooper Bowman. Infield fly rule is invoked, and that is out number 2. So Carson Klumping, back to the top of the order for the Royals, is up. 2 outs, men on first and second. Hardhats looking to get out of this so they can go back to the offense and try and tie it up at 2. Pitch number 40 about to come from Weitzel. And it's outside, 1-0. Ball and no strikes the count. And the next pitch hit him, and the bases are loaded. So Weitzel hits the batter. Nordstock now on third. Torgerson now on second. Klumping on first. That'll bring us to Atticus Bryan, the left-handed hitting right fielder. And now a really scary scenario here for the Hardhats. This game can either get very interesting, as the Hardhats can hang on, or it could blow wide open. First pitch, called strike. Inside at the knees. I think Weitzel got a little lucky on that call. It's 0-1. Atticus Bryan is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch, a walk, and a strikeout. 0-1. Swung on, and the ball takes a chop to first. Caldwell gets the stop. He'll take first himself, and that ends the threat. 3 unassisted gets the Hardhats out of the jam. 2 runs scored on the power of 3 straight hits. No errors were charged to the Hardhats, and the bases were left loaded. We've played 7 innings of baseball. We finally have runs, but now the Royals have the lead. It stands at 2-1. We'll take a quick breather and come back to the top of the 8th inning and the top of the Hardhats order due up in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We are now to the top of the 8th inning, and there is a change of the guard on the mound for the Royals. Finishing up his start is Brooks Zimmer, who ended up throwing 93 pitches. In his start, 94 pitches, excuse me. He ended up striking out 7, did not issue a free pass, allowed 1 run that was earned on 4 hits in 7 innings of work. He now gives way to the lefty, Tucker Smith, who will start off against the top of the Hardhats order. And he deals ball 1 to Cooper Bowman. Bowman on the ball game, 0 for 3, reached down a fielder's choice the last time he was up and was stranded on third. And the 1-0 is low and skips to the backstop. 2 balls, no strikes. So top 3 of the order, Bowman, King, and Weaver in that order. Weaver has 2 hits in that 3 spot, 2 for 3. Came in with about a 143 average, so his will go up. Next pitch, Bowman turns on it to left, but it's foul. And the count goes to 2-1. Connor King on deck. He's 0 for 3, and then again Weaver 2 for 3. 2 balls and a strike the count here to Bowman. Leading off the top of the 8th, his team trails 2-1. And the 2-1. Misses. Oh, that's a called strike. Low and away, it's 2-2. Very delayed call as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Tucker Smith looking for his first strikeout on the next pitch. Ball's hit right up the middle and into center for a base hit. Cooper Bowman gets his first hit of the ball game to lead off the top of the 8th. Tying run is on board, and the go-ahead run will step into the batter's box. That is Connor King. King looking for his first hit. This is a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Bowman on first with the leadoff single. Smith, the lefty, has the benefit of looking right at first, and he deals. King showed bunt, but pulled back, and it's a called strike. 0-1 the count to Connor King, looking for his first hit or potentially this sacrifice that he looked like he was going to lay down. King, a pop to short, fly out to left and right. Check down to first is not there. So Bowman safe on the bag. King steps back in. Tucker Smith now on the mound for Brooks Zimmer. And the 0-1 is inside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. One ball, one strike the count to the Hardhats left-handed hitting center fielder. Hardhats trail 2-1 here in the top of the 8th. A run on 5 hits, no errors. And the pitch. Called strike on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-2 to Connor King. Man on first, no one out. King trying to push Bowman across. Hardhats trail 2-1. Smith takes a look at Bowman on first, and he checks back, but Bowman is safe. So a ball and 2 strikes still to King, waiting on that 4th pitch. 1-2. Swung on, and the ball is hit to short. Kay makes the stop on the hop. He'll get the throw to first, and it is not in time. An infield single for Connor King. And it's men on first and second with still no one out here in the top of the 8th. And the Hardhats still have some life. Alex Weaver comes up, and I would not be surprised if he went for the sacrifice bunt to put 2 men in scoring position. We'll see what signal was called from Coach Torvey at third. Coming off of first to field is Dawson Smith, and stepping off the rubber is Tucker Smith. And he'll have a quick conversation with Jarrett Linewand, his catcher. Cooper Bowman led off with a single. He's now on second. Connor King with an infield single. He's on first. No one out, 2 men on. Both the tying and go-ahead runs on the base path. Weaver, red hot in this game. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. And his first pitch. Swung on, and the ball is hit to second. Stop is made by Klumpy. To second for 1, to first for 2. He got him! No, my goodness! Weaver beat that out by a mile. And they're calling a 4-6-3 double play. And Cooper Bowman, now the tying run, is on third, and that completely changed the complexion of this inning. Weaver beat that throw out by at least a mile. Wow. So 4-6-3, 2 down, Bowman on third. And that brings up Jack Sorensen. And he has ball 1 thrown to him. It's 1-0. Conference between Smith and Linewand again. That, my goodness. He was safe. Alex Weaver was definitely safe. So now it's a man on third, 2 outs, and you got to hope that that doesn't really come back to bite the Hardhats. 1-0 to Sorensen. Swung on and fouled. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Sorensen's 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats and a ground out to second. Sorensen has ended every inning in which he has appeared in the batter's box, so he is hoping to avoid a four-peat. Ball and a strike is count. The lefty Tucker Smith in relief. He deals. Swung on and missed. Smith took a ton of speed off that pitch. And it's 1-2. Hardhats threatening, but a double play that should not have been called went against them. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch to Sorensen. Swung on and the ball is hit right back to the mound, and Smith gets the catch, and that's going to end the threat. And you got to hope that that call does not come back against the Hardhats. No runs on 2 hits with no errors charged to the Royals, and a man left 90 feet away from tying up the ball game. And after 7.5 innings, the Royals still maintain a 2-1 advantage. We'll take a quick step aside, and we will come back with the bottom half of the 8th in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Another change of the guard on the mound for post 22, as Jack Sorensen will now take over pitching duties for Zach Weitzel. Jack Sorensen's been masterful in his last couple of appearances on the mound. And you take a look at the numbers in which he's produced so far. 3 innings. He's played 2 games in relief. He has a win under his belt and a save as well. He's only allowed a hit. He struck out a trio of batters and only walked 1. Again, another ERA of 0. He'll take over for Zach Weitzel, who pitched 2 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned. He struck out a pair and walked 1, and did it all on 43 pitches. So now we come back to the top of the order. Excuse me, to the cleanup spot. Read the scorebook wrong. Jarrett Linewand's going to start off. Linewand is 0 for 2, pair of strikeouts and a walk. And he came around to score in that big bottom half of the 7th. 2-1 is the Royals' lead here in the bottom of the 8th. And the first pitch from Sorensen misses low for ball 1. So Sorensen in now for Zach Weitzel. Third pitcher the Hardhats have used. Sorensen will pitch from the stretch. Tall righty. Next pitch is swung on, hit to the left side of the infield. Bowman makes a stop deep from short. Throw to first in time. What a play from the shortstop position by Cooper Bowman. 6-3 in the book. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring us to Dawson Smith, whose RBI double originally tied the ball game up in the bottom half of the 7th. He came around to score and represents, as of right now, the game-winning run for the Royals. 2-1's the Royals lead. No one on and 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th. Sorensen deals. That one just missed outside. It's 1-0. One ball and no strikes to count. And Sorensen's next pitch misses low. It's 2-0. Sorensen, again, 2 appearances, now 3 on the year. They've been very brief, but again, each time he's come in, he's been fairly solid. 2-1. Upstairs. 2-0, and it's now 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes to count to Dawson Smith. No one on and 1 out for the Royals here in the bottom of the 8th. They have a 2-1 lead. 3-0, a called strike, fastball right at the knees of Smith. And it's now 3-1. Sorensen, so to speak, stays alive. 3-1 the count, and Sorensen deals. Called strike, inside part of the plate. And it's now a full count. I don't know what Smith was thinking. That was clearly strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch. Swung on, balls hit foul. First base side. And the count will hold full. So another payoff pitch coming soon from Jack Sorensen. Dawson Smith up. Full count battle. About to see a second payoff pitch with no one on and 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. Royals with a 2-1 lead. Payoff number 2. Misses low and away for ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk for Jack Sorensen on the mound to Dawson Smith. That's going to bring up Nick Nordstog, the DH. He singled as well in that bottom half of the 7th. And his first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Nordstog would eventually get stranded on 3rd. Kate Torgerson is on deck. He'd have the RBI single to knock in Smith and give the Royals a 2-1 lead. First pitch. That is a strike. And it's 1-1. Breaking pitch, called strike, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. And Sorensen from the stretch. Time called right as he threw it. They have to find a way to eliminate that. 1-2 the count, the man on first, and 1 out here at the bottom of the 8th. Potentially the last chance for the Royals. Next pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Jack gets his first strikeout in relief. 2 down with the man on first. And now that'll bring us to Nick Nordstog. I had an error there in my scorebook for a bit. So now Nordstog comes up. And his first pitch is swung on and flared into right. Sumption on the run. Underneath it makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors charged to the Hardhats. A man left on first. We have played 8 innings, and the Hardhats now only have 3 outs on offense to try and tie this one up. We'll be right back with the top of the 9th inning of regulation. And coming up, Jace Caldwell to lead it off. We'll be right back in a few moments, folks, here on Hardhats-TV and on ESPN Rapid City. We're now in the top of the 9th inning, and the Hardhats only have 3 outs to try and tie this one up. Back against Tucker Smith, the lefty, they will go. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV as Jace Caldwell leads off the top of the 9th. His first pitch is flared foul, first base side, and Smith comes over in foul territory, and he makes the catch on the first pitch to Caldwell. That's the second time in this ballgame that he's done that. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring us to Zach Sumption, the right fielder. Sumption 0 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice the last time he was up. He is also struck out looking. And his first pitch is a called strike on a breaking ball. And it's 0-1. Hardhats now down to their final 2 outs on offense. Hoping that a double play call back in the 8th didn't go against them. Next pitch is outside, and it's 1-1. Hard to believe that you could trace it back to one sequence, but 2 men on, potentially men on the corners. And Tucker Smith steps off the rubber before he throws the 1-1 pitch. Sumption settles back in. 1-1 from Smith. That misses low, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. Matt Hegre is on deck as the 3rd man due up in this top of the 9th. Hardhats down to the final 2 outs, and the base path's empty. 2-1 Sumption, swung on, chopped to the left side of the infield. It's stopped on the play by Blanchard at 3rd, and his throw to first is in time. 5-3 in the books. 2 down, and the Hardhats' perfect start is on the line now as Matt Hegre comes up. 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and the Royals with a 2-1 lead. Matt Hegre now comes up. 0 for 3. He has reached on 2 errors. Here's his first pitch. Swung on, and that ball's turned on high in the air to left. That ball has some legs. That ball has the distance, and it goes over the head of the left fielder, Torgerson. And Hegre comes into second with a 2-out double, and the tying runs in scoring position. And the Hardhats have some life. And that is going to bring up Ryan Schmidt, who came through in the top of the 7th with a 2-out RBI double to eventually give the Hardhats what was a 1-0 lead 2 frames ago. Matt Hegre, his first extra base hit of the year. And boy, what a big one at that. So now Schmidt steps in against the lefty and Tucker Smith. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled first base side. And it's 0-1 to Schmidt. Schmidt 1 for 3, pair of strikeouts, and an RBI double. Hegre takes his lead off a second. And here comes the 0-1. Swung on, and that ball's hitting the gap in right center, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Hegre rounds third as the ball goes all the way to the wall. He's going to score. Schmidt, a pair of RBI doubles with 2 outs, and the Hardhats have tied it. And they're not done yet. A 2-out RBI double for Ryan Schmidt. And we're guaranteed at least the bottom half of this 9th inning more. And so now Carter Deming comes up looking to switch places with Schmidt on second. 2-2. Now the score with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. The Hardhats were down to their last at-bat, and Ryan Schmidt has at least perpetuated this game a half inning longer. And now here comes Carter Deming. First pitch from Smith. Swung on, ball's hit foul over my head and out of play, and it's 0-1. Deming's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout to left. He was also hit by a pitch earlier in the ballgame as well. And stepping off the rubber, Smith, and back to second is Schmidt. A big RBI double for Ryan Schmidt. And we're now tied at 2 between the Hardhats and the Royals. From the stretch, Smith deals. That pitch is low to Deming, and the count evens up. Out a ball and a strike. If Deming keeps the inning going. Oh, Holden Jackson's batting. I did not see the license plate there. Holden Jackson batting instead of Carter Deming. Also, that was a fun mix-up there. Jackson up now, and his pitch is swung on and hit to third. Stop is made by Blanchard, and his throw to first is in time. Nearly took the first baseman off the bag, and that will end it. So the Hardhats get a big run on a pair of doubles. 2 hits, no errors charged to the Royals, and the go-ahead run left in scoring position. We've played 8.5. We are guaranteed to at least play 9. The Hardhats have tied this ball game up at 2. We're going to step aside for a brief moment. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 9th and the bottom of the Royals order here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, now we have 3 offensive outs remaining for the Billings Royals, as it looks like we have a change in the guard. Ryan Bachman will make his post-22 debut defensively at second base, taking over for Carter Deming, who has since left the game. Earlier he was limping out of the play he had to make on second, whether that was because he took a ball off his ankle or he tweaked something on his path to the ball. So he is now at second, Bachman is, in place of Deming, and as we learned in the hilarious mix-up I just had prior to the end of the inning, Holden Jackson was the pinch hitter for Deming. So we'll go to the bottom third of the order here, with Sorensen still on the mound for the Hardhats. Cade Torgerson, the left-handed hitting left fielder's up. 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the bottom of the 7th. We're all of a sudden tied up at 2. And the first pitch is swung on and it's hit to second. Bachman gets his first play as a Hardhat, and the throw to first is in time. Very well executed. He thrown right into the fire there. You come literally cold off the bench. It is freezing here at 47 degrees. You literally come cold off the bench, and ball comes right to you right off the hop. 1 up, 1 down, and that's going to bring up Dan Blanchard, the third baseman. Blanchard 0 for 3. He has struck out in consecutive at-bats, and his first pitch from Sorensen's a called strike. 0-1 the count here to Blanchard as the Hardhats are trying to hang on and draw a 10th extra inning. 0-1. Breaking pitch just missed inside, and it was a little high, too, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 2-2's the score here in the bottom of the 9th. No one on the base path for the Royals, and 1 out. Dan Blanchard, the third baseman, up. Next pitch, called strike on the outside corner. Nice fastball from Sorensen. 1-2 now the count. Sorensen will go from the stretch again. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball missed outside, and it's 2-2. Michael Moorhead, the center fielder, on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. Sorensen deals. Swung on, ball is chopped foul, first base side. Jace Caldwell got to it regardless, and the count will hold at 2-2. Good to see Caldwell field that ball the whole way through. There was a questionable foul ball hit to that side, and it was called fair. So just a removed out, he fielded it. 2-2, just missed on the breaking ball outside. And the count goes full. That was a brilliant pitch from Sorensen. It just missed, but that was a great 2-2 pitch to try and get Blanchard to chase it. Credit Blanchard, he kind of held up. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Sorensen gets his second K in relief. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats here on the bottom of the 9th, and that'll bring us to the 9-hole hitter, Michael Moorhead, the center fielder. Moorhead's 0 for 3 and invoked the infield fly rule the last time he was up. 2 outs, the base path's empty for him here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch swung on, hit up the middle. Sorensen gets the stop, and the toss to first is in time, and that'll end it. Sorensen gets out of the inning in 7 pitches. 9 innings, not enough. And for the 4th time in 6 games for the Hardhats, they're going to extra innings. We'll take a step aside, and we will be right back with the top of the 10th. Hardhats going to extra frames, deadlocked at 2 against the Billings Royals here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. I stand corrected. 3 out of 6 games in which the Hardhats now have gone to extra innings. And so post-22 will go to the top of the 10th with the top of the order to lead off. Thanks so much for burning the oil with us tonight here, folks. We had a change in schedules that nearly threw the weekend off. And the post-22 Hardhats at least have a single 9-inning game out of this weekend to start it off against the Billings Royals. Deadlocked at 2. To the top of the 10th we go, and to the top of the Hardhats order. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City as Cooper Bowman steps in for his 5th plate appearance. 1 for 4 First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Bowman's only hit came in his last at-bat. It was in the top of a very controversial 8th inning. He was stranded on third. 1-0, breaking ball, called strike. On the outside corner, it's 1-1. Bowman, King, Weaver due up. And here comes the 1-1. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike now to Bowman. Bowman and King singled in back-to-back at-bats in that top of the 8th. So here's hoping they can keep the offense going for the Hardhats. 2-1 pitch. That's low and inside. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Tucker Smith, the lefty, still on in relief for the Royals. And the next pitch is a called strike on the inside corner, and it's now a full count to Bowman. Tucker Smith trying to battle. The Hardhats with 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and the Royals must be a discrepancy in scoring here. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error. Payoff pitch to Bowman. Caught him looking. Strike 3. Bowman thought that one was at his cleats. I think he's got an argument. But it's a backwards K in the book. And Tucker Smith will get his first strikeout to start off the top of the 10th. So Connor King now comes up. 1 for 4 as well. Singled again the last time he was up. And his first pitch is swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to right field. Coming in is Atticus Bryan to try and field it, and the ball drops for a base hit. It dropped right between Bryan and Michael Moorhead, the center fielder, so Connor King's on with a bloop single. 1 out. The go-ahead run is on the base path. And that brings up Alex Weaver, who was called out in what was a controversial and, as video replay showed us, incorrect 4-6-3 double play call. Hopefully it's not deja vu all over again, as the late Yogi Berra once said. King on first takes his lead, and Smith deals. First pitch outside to Weaver, 1-0. I'd be interested to see if they send King. I would be very interested to see. Smith from the stretch. Lefty takes a look at first, and the pitch is upstairs. 2-0 now to Weaver. With a man on first, the go-ahead run on first here in the top of the 10th. We're deadlocked at 2. Connor King is 2 for 2 on stolen bases on the year. Let's see if he goes 3 for 3. Smith looks. Next pitch is fouled off the end of Weaver's bat, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Alex Weaver really should be 3 for 4. Instead, he is 2 for 4 with that pair of singles. Well, it'd still be 2 for 4. It would have been a fielder's choice, but it should have been a fielder's choice, not a double play. Tucker Smith takes a step off the rubber. Pretty close to a balk there, if I'm not mistaken. King's back safely at first. 2 balls and a strike to Weaver. Connor King goes. Pitch is up high, and that's a defensive indifference. They'll let him go. So Connor King steals. And they didn't even throw to second. So a defensive indifference. So now it's 3 balls and a strike as that pitch was up high on Weaver. He has a man in scoring position now. Connor King, the go-ahead run, tied at 2 here in the top of the 10th. 3-1 to Weaver. Is called strike at the belt. A breaking ball, and it's a full count. If Weaver gets a base hit, King is coming home. He has the wheels for it. Big payoff pitch coming from Smith to Weaver. Smith a double take to second, and he deals. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Underneath it is Dawson Smith, and Smith makes the catch. King's going to hang tight at second. That's 3 foul outs to first base that the Hardhats have, and 2 of them have come in this ball game from Jace Caldwell. Now 1 from Weaver. 2 down. The go-ahead run, 180 feet from scoring, and that'll bring up Jack Sorensen, who is 0 for 4. And this poor guy, all 4 times he's been up, he has ended an inning. Jack is now on the mound, serving as a relief pitcher for the Hardhats. He was the DH. He has now since been put on the mound. Tucker Smith takes a look at King on second. First pitch to Sorensen. Swung on and missed on the breaking ball, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. The count to Sorensen. Ground out to second. Backwards K, forwards K, line out right to the mound. So twice in his 4 plate appearances, he has made contact. And another check down or fake check to second. And King is safely retreating, and now he's back off the second base. No balls and a strike. The count here to Sorensen. And the pitch is low. King gets back to second. Ball and a strike now to Sorensen. We are in the top of the 10th inning, and the Hardhats are tied 2-2 with the Billings Royals. Go-ahead run on second for Sorensen with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch swung on it. It's turned on to left, but it's foul. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes for Sorensen. 1-2 the count. Smith looking for his second K. It would strand the go-ahead run in scoring position for post 22. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left field. Underneath it is Turkison in left. And he makes the catch, and that'll end the threat. So the Hardhats get the go-ahead run on second base, but they can't knock it home. And so to the bottom of the 10th we will go with the Royals hanging on to a chance to walk off. No runs on a hit, no errors charged to the Royals, and a man left 180 feet from giving the Hardhats the lead here in extra innings. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th, still deadlocked at 2. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. To the bottom half of the 10th inning we will go, with post 22 still deadlocked at 2 with the Billings Royals. This game was a 0-0 pitcher's duel until the 7th inning, in which the Hardhats got the first run of the ball game, thanks to an RBI double from Ryan Schmidt. Schmidt gave the Hardhats a 1-0 lead. In the bottom of the 7th, the Royals came back to not only tie, but then eventually take a 2-1 lead of their own. Top of the 8th, the Hardhats were threatening. A bad double play call went against them and I believe changed the complexion of the ball game until we got to the top of the 9th. Matt Heggery hits a 2-out double. He's on second, and then Ryan Schmidt comes up with his second RBI double to tie the game up at 2 for the Hardhats, and that is where we stand after 9.5 innings of play. Now into the bottom of the 10th, the Billings Royals are up, and it's the top of the order. Carson Klumpine, Atticus Bryan, and Jaden Kay due up for Billings. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City on 105.7 FM and 1340 AM back home in the Black Hills. We're also streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Jack Sorensen's first pitch to Klumpine swung on and hit to third. Heggery, the stop and the throw to first is in time. One pitch, one man up, one man down. And that brings up Atticus Bryan, the left-handed hitting right fielder for the Royals. Bryan, a tall left-handed hitter, is 0 for 2, hit by pitch and a walk. And he swings and misses at his first pitch from Jack Sorensen. Sorensen on the mound for the Hardhats. This is his 3rd inning of relief. Here comes the 0-1. That hits him. And the game-winning run is now on the base path with a hit by pitch. That's the 2nd time today that Atticus Bryan's been hit. 1 out, a man on first, and that'll bring us to Jaden Kay, the shortstop. Kay is 0 for 4 with 2 groundouts to short, a backwards K in the book, and a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play that came all the way back in the bottom half of the 1st. And I don't know, I think a pinch runner is going to come out now for Atticus Bryan. Pinch runner is coming out, and that'll be number 9, Ethan Opp. So Ethan Opp will be the pinch runner on first. after Brian was hit by the pitch. So now here comes Jaden Kay, the shortstop, with 1 out. The game-winning run is on first. That's the only error from Jack Sorensen on the mound right now, and here's hoping for him it doesn't come back to bite the Hardhats. 2-2 deadlock, bottom of the 10th. And Sorensen's first pitch, called strike at the belt. Inside part of the plate against Kay, it's 0-1. Jaden Kay again 0 for 4. Grounded into an inning-ending double play. Pair of groundouts to short. Strikeout in his second at-bat. Next pitch is swung on, and that ball is blooped into shallow right. That's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Opp, and the throw gets to third, not in time. So now it's men on the corners. A 1-out single allows Opp to take all the way to third. And now the game is on the bat of Jarrett Linewand. The base hit, the sac fly, it's all in effect. The Hardhats desperately need their second double play of the ball game, and if they get it, we are guaranteed an 11th inning. If not, they will suffer their first loss of the season. 1 out, men on the corners. Jarrett Linewand is up. Base hit, sac fly, wins it. He shows bunt, and he fouls it. 0-1 the count to Linewand. Linewand 0 for 2. Pair of strikeouts, a pair of walks. Big moment here as we're tied at 2. The Royals have the game-winning run 90 feet to the left of Linewand. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. On a breaking ball from Sorensen, it's 1-1. Hardhats' perfect record is on the line here. Sac fly or a base hit, ball game's over. 1-1 pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, right field, and Sumption's underneath it. He makes the catch. Coming in from third to home is Opp. The throw gets home, and it is not in time! And that is going to end it. That was such a close play at home, but the Royals will walk off on the sac fly RBI from Jarrett Linewand. And the Royals win the game 3-2. The Hardhats battled as hard as they could. They really did. They forced the 10th inning, and they just couldn't get out of it. A run on a hit and no errors. Charged to post 22 in the bottom of the 10th. And the Royals hand the Hardhats their first loss of the season. They will now go to 5-1 and get ready for tomorrow's doubleheader of 2 7-inning ball games. Folks, we're going to take a breather, and when we come back, it's one last look at this game in its entirety, and we'll sign off and say so long until tomorrow morning's doubleheader scheduled to start at 10 a.m. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV.